Hello, it's Tom with Digital Foundry with a quick comparison between PC and PS4 versions of Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It's an unusual release given Sony published and co-funded the project handled by the Chinese room, but PC in theory lets us tap into graphic settings that weren't seen at all on PS4. So let's start at the top. PS4 uses a match for the PC's very high texture assets, something it can afford to do with its huge pool of GDDR5 RAM. Now there isn't much variance between the PC settings here. From low to very high, switching between the 4 presets causes textures across the village to stay the same. What does change though is the strength of the anisotropic filtering on the ground, with the highest quality 16 times sampling presumably being reserved for its very high setting. But where does PS4 stand in all of this? Well, it sits very comfortably next to PC's best in core texture quality, which makes sense given how hard the Chinese room worked on the details across Yorton Village. There really isn't much to tell them apart. The only downside on PS4 is the very weak texture filtering across the floor, which actually falls below the PC's low preset, giving a very blurry look across roads. Moving on, and the next setting is shadows. Now we had to carefully match shots here to make sure the cloud simulation didn't have too much of an impact on either side. It's an effect we see in other games with physically based lighting that diffuses shadows dynamically, but assuming everything's matched, the shadow differences between PC's settings are again very granular. In this case, PC's very high option gets us sharper looking outlines than PS4, and the console version uses the high setting, giving us slightly more dithered edges. Last but not least is the object detail setting. This is the big one in performance, and the reason you might see some frame drops on the PC side here. Curiously, the differences between very high and high are very minimal, so it's worth dropping a setting if you're suffering poor performance. But either way, it's certainly a boost over the PS4 edition, which runs at low. Note how the pub below is stripped of all detail at this range on PS4, whereas PC's medium, high and very high presets still draw them in. An unusual side effect of running at very high object detail though is that trees give a thinned out appearance at range on PC, something we don't see on high or below, and likewise on PS4. So that about covers it. Let us know what you reckon in the comments. A like or subscribe would also be really appreciated if you want to see more comparisons like this. But until next time, thanks for watching.